So we're almost done over here in Newaygo self-storage. A couple of things I'm looking for as I walk through. So you can see right here. So making sure all this is backfilled over the course of the last month or so with some heavy rains before these buildings went up. We actually had a lot of washout where basically there's a lot of dirt from underneath the concrete that was washing out. So now that these buildings are actually here, what's happening is that the water now is actually directing off of the roofs into this middle of this driveway, and then now it's directing down the middle of this driveway down this drainage ramp. For safe measure, we actually added these curbs here, but we don't have curbs the length of the entire facility, obviously, because if it falls on that roof, then it's gonna go into that driveway. Or if it falls in this little patch right here, we're fine with a little bit of runoff to go into this drain right here. So overall, you see we've got quite a few drainage ramps. Like I think I got 8 in total. And then you can see up there, we got a couple guys, they're basically trimming trees down. So if it were up to me, I'd want as much visibility as possible. Because if I do that, one, it's easier to see, but then two, it doesn't get in the way of the fencing. But I believe, I don't remember the exact number, but I believe to meet ordinances, we have 6 trees, which, you know, more than likely, like in 5 to 7 years, those trees are going to overgrown, and then we're either going to have to cut them down and plant new trees to meet that requirement, or figure something out. But it's kind of a pain because, you know, what the city wants, or, you know, and city could be meaning a lot of different things, but what the municipality wants is really counterintuitive, because we really don't want trees and want to be butting up right against our border fence. So and then you see over here, same thing, they're kind of trimming this up right here. Fortunately, we have an awesome neighbor that we're working with. They're really allowing us to kind of go right up against the property line. I wish I could say the same for the other things, but overall though, we are pretty solid on progress. So that driveway over there is finished. So we're gonna have gating go in about 2 weeks. Power should be in middle of next Wednesday. And then you can see right here too as well. We got these exterior boxes right there. Those exterior boxes will basically where we'll tie into for our video cameras. And then they're gonna be out here at the exact same time as our electrician. So overall, you know, I hate to give a timeline on it, but I see we're about 3 weeks out. It's kind of amazing how we're working on all these details. You know, the details take us 1 to 2 months, whereas I got concrete and steel basically in a month and a half. So this facility looked like it's basically 90% done for pretty much the last 2 months now. So that's it for this. Certificate of occupancy should be here relatively soon. Oh yeah, one more thing too. So you probably saw in a previous video here. So this is a sign of a great contractor. So it's kind of hard to see right here, but where that bollard is, and kind of right there, right, that line right here, we actually had to have them re-pour this cement here, because the reason what was happening was we were running into it where the concrete had an area where it was pooling. And because I had these units right here, that's an absolute no-no. So I reached out to the concrete guy, and a lot of times I've dealt with contractors in the past, and they're just kind of like, oh, well, that's just something, we'll fix it out. They try to basically act like it's no big deal. This contractor that I was dealing with, and to show how awesome he was, he just said, yeah, you know, we're aware of it, we're going to take care of it. That was it. No questions asked. So one of those things that, you know, you deal with when you deal with contractors is that, you know, people don't talk about basically contractors saving you a lot of money, even though they're more expensive. So this contractor, he happened to be actually a little bit more expensive than the contractor I normally use with, but I chose them for 2 reasons. One, he knew the excavator really, really well, and they worked very close hand in hand, so that was a big plus. And 2, you know, I knew that he was not going to be a headache. And so on this project of little things like that, trying to get people to come back, argue at the phone, it's not worth, you know, being 5 to 3% more. So ultimately, we made the right decision on this job with our concrete contractor. And if there's one person that I think really, you know, if I had to pick, I would say it'd be my excavator for sure, because they got to know how to do everything right. They got to get their grades. They got to get their shots. But after that, I definitely think that contractor guy is probably our second most contractor on a facility like this. And when you look at costs, there's no secret that those are my 2 most expensive contractors as well.